Hey guys, I'm Joe. This is the Hey guys, I'm Joe. This is the Rebels Advocate, and this is episode 5 of Wail, Wail, Wail. That's right, episode 5. And I have nothing witty to say about that other than it is July 20th, 2020. Guess what that day is? It's my wedding anniversary. Yep. Uh, so guess what? I forgot. Yeah, I'm still alive, which is proof that I'm married to the most wonderful woman in the world. Uh, and here's the bad thing: she reminded me last week sometime. I know it was before the weekend, and she was like, "What are we doing Monday?" And I thought it was weird. Like, why would you skip the weekend? Why would you not ask what we're doing on the weekend and ask, "What are we doing Monday?" And I was like, "What's so special about Monday?" And I was like, "I guess we're going to the doctor because we both got doctor's appointments." And so I thought maybe that's what she meant, like, are we going to do something after? But we can't do nothing after because it's a pandemic. And she was like, well, I was just wondering for our anniversary. And I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, I totally didn't forget that. And so she reminded me. And then today, I get a message in our group chat from my mom who was like, happy anniversary, Joe and Carrie. Thanks, Mom. Like, maybe next time, uh, you know, remind me before you congratulate us. Make sure I remembered. So anyway, I put my mask on, went in a dollar store because I was meeting someone to make a yard sale page sale where you sell something on the yard sale pages. So I went ahead and donned my mask and went in and bought her a little dollar like cactus and a card, an anniversary card that was well, it was meant to be from somebody to a couple, and so I had to like scribble out lines and like where it said we hope and put I and that the both of you, and I would scribble it out and put the both of us, and in the end of it, you know, I put my thing about, you know, I love you and blah blah blah, all that mushy stuff, and then uh, I said, P.S. This I think this card is perfect for 2020. One day we'll look back on it and laugh. Dot dot dot. If we survive. Speaking of if we survive, if you didn't watch my last video, and not the Well episode 4, which was just a blockbuster hit, I've heard a lot of talk about it online. A lot of celebrities. I think Joe Rogan was talking about it. Like, I mean, it's just all like really a lot of people going on and on about it. But anyway, we did have a COVID scare. The wife and I both got sick. Kind of, we both had fatigue. Uh, but other than that, we had completely different symptoms. And mine was mostly like extreme fatigue, but it would come in waves. Like I would feel great for like literally one day I was headed out to mow the yard, and I was like, well, I'm gonna uh, fix a bite to fix a bite to eat. And so I went out to our building, the deep freeze, to get some meat, and walked back in the house and just almost collapsed. Like, I mean, it was just, you know, it was bad. And I imagine it's something like, I've had this happen before. Like, I've had these real weak spells where I thought maybe I have family with diabetes and stuff, and I was like, well, maybe it's low sugar. But I know I had it happen one time, and I worked with a guy who is a bad diabetic and has the, you know, pump on all that. Now he has one that just reads continuous, but at the time he had to take, you know, readings during the day, and so he took my, he pricked my finger and tested my sugar or whatever when I was like that one time, and it was normal. So I don't know. I don't know if this was the same thing or if this was something to do with a new sickness. But anyway, so and then I got real short of breath, like I was having a tough time breathing. And then the next day it's like, okay, I think I feel better, and then it hit me again. The first time it was like it hit me before I ate, so I thought, oh, maybe that was what it was. I was just so hungry, but I ate something, and even though I felt a little better, I was still just so weak, like I couldn't do anything. Next day, I was feeling great. I ate, and then it just, after I ate, like a little while after I ate, it hit me again. Boom, down. Still having difficulty breathing. I thought I was doing some better, and then I can't remember if that was the night or the next day. Well, one of those days, I actually got to have a conversation with Ryan Bowman, great viewer, fan of the channel, Ryan, and me and him had a long, a couple of good conversations, and I noticed the more I was talking, like, because I hadn't really talked a lot that day. I'm not saying me and my wife weren't talking to each other, but we didn't have any long conversations. You know what I mean? Like where I was talking for an extended period of time. And so I noticed when I was talking to him, and I would get off on a wild tangent like I do here, and be talk too much, that I would get winded. And so it was enough to scare us. And then my wife was having symptoms as well. Hers were different than mine, and so anyway, that led us to decide we needed to go get tested. And so I called the health department, and they didn't test. Well, they do test, but it's like, we're not testing the rest of the week. There'll be people set up at your local food city on Friday. You can go Friday and get tested. It's like, wow, okay. So I called my local doctor, the doctor I go to, and I was like, can I, get a test? And they're like, well, you have to come in and make an appointment, and they have to run all these tests and then decide if you need the test. So I didn't have insurance, so it was like, well, that's not going to work, Hospital, same way. They'll give you a test, but you got to go through all the tests to just see if they think you need a test. So in other words, charge you hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, who knows what test they're going to do. I imagine if I went to my doctor's office, it'd probably be hundreds. If I went to the hospital, it'd be thousands. Who knows? So I was like, well, that ain't gonna work, so I'll just wait till Friday and go to the food city. And it was gonna be 12 to 3, first come, first served, no appointments. Health department told me no appointments. I called food city, talked to the manager there to make sure. They said no appointments. Get there, first thing they asked me, do y'all have an appointment? But it was 12 to 3, and we got there at 12:25, and the guy is like, I can only test one of you. We're out of test at 12:25. I was like, Jesus, and we don't live in a big city or nothing. I mean, so I was like, how do you run out in 25 minutes? And so I don't know if that meant they had a bunch of appointments and they had enough for all those people for appointments but didn't have extra. I wasn't sure. And so my wife was like, you take it, you have the worst symptoms. And so I was like, we're going back. Are you sure? I don't know. Which one of us is most likely to have it? You kind of want that one to take it, that way you know. And so anyway, they get us to pulling up, and then they come running. Magically, they found some more tests, and so they were like, y'all can both take it. Kid couldn't take it because it's 10 and up, But anyway, that it was like ridiculous what you had to go through to get, to get a stupid test. And a lot of these people that are acting like it is a hoax are kind of, well, the numbers are going up because so many people are getting tested. They kind of act like everybody's just going out and testing. I was like, Jesus, if it's this hard to get tested, it's just ridiculous. And it's just, and two, the fact that these other places, the health department is the only place that'll give you a test without running, like this. It's just so sad to live in a country where there's so many people who can't have, that don't have insurance and would just stay home because they can't afford to go to the doctor and die. And before I go any further, great news. My wife and I do now have insurance, so we do have coverage now. So that is a great thing. And that's one reason why we went to the doctor today. But anyway, we got tested Friday. It's Monday night. Still no results back on that. They said it could take up to a week, but they said they have been coming back sooner, so they hoped to call us sooner with results. My mom, who was having symptoms as well, tested last Monday, and so it's been 7 days now, and she has not got results back yet. So I don't know. So me and the wife, we live together in a small double-wide trailer, so it's kind of hard to stay apart. But we've been trying to, just in case one of us has it and the other one doesn't, we've not been sleeping together all week, and not been kissing, no kissing, just trying not to get in each other's face too much. We can't keep the 6-foot rule. That's kind of not happening. We live in too tight a space for that. But I did get tickled. I asked my wife on the way to get the test, I was like, what if it turns out that one of us has the virus and the other one doesn't? And she's like, I guess that person will just be quarantined to the bedroom. And I was like, dang, that suck. And then she's like, I would just have to bring your meals and set them by the door. And I was like, oh, wow, you are very confident that it's going to be me. And so anyway, that's where we are. So now I'm feeling pretty good. My wife's feeling pretty good. So now, instead of hoping, like crossing my fingers like I hope I don't have it, we're kind of crossing our fingers hoping it comes back positive and we did have it, because that would mean we escaped, fairly easy. Yeah, I mean, that would be great, but it's very probable that we just have any number of other bugs. I just thought it was kind of weird that we both got sick at the same time, but kind of had opposite, like, different symptoms. I thought that was kind of weird. But anyway, that's where we're at. So, oh, and I told you I forgot my wife's anniversary. It's not good. But here's what else has. I keep a notebook there beside me. At I usually sit on the love seat in the recliner, and I have a notebook there beside me all the time. Well, I have like 3 for different things. One is I rarely use. The other one is a journal that I'm supposed to be writing every day. Like for my therapist and stuff. So, by the way, good news, I get to go back to therapy. So that's good. But one thing I did forget, we had doctor's appointments today, and my wife kind of got talked down to. I got talked down to a little bit, kind of felt like that tall by the doctor, because this whole COVID thing come up. We had these symptoms, we went and got tested, and so even before we went and got tested, my wife calls. It's like, hey, we got appointments Monday. Here's the deal. We're going to go get tested for COVID. We have some symptoms. We weren't sure, don't really, should we even be going to the doctor's office, but they've been like really like they keep the lobby almost completely empty. You kind of wait at your car, go like that kind of thing. They've been, and so she, instead of telling us no wait, they told us, yeah, come in, except pull to the back, and there's several spaces with a white X on them, and park in that space. Sit in your car, do not get out. A nurse will come and get you, the whole 9 yards. So yeah, come on. It's like, okay. So that's what we did, and so the nurse comes out, full gear, face mask, face shield, scrubs. Practically look like she's wearing a hazmat suit. Comes and gets my wife. My wife goes in, and then I reckon the doctor come in there and just was flabbergasted that she would come in with symptoms. It's like, well, that's not really our fault. We called, but so anyway, I did not go in. They changed my appointment to telehealth. Actually, it wasn't even video chat. He just called on the phone, and so that's how that went today. And he wants me to follow up with psych. So on top of my therapist, which is like whatever licensed counselor, whatever they are, he wants me to go back to this actual psychiatrist. So I get to do that sometime. I don't know how that'll go because I don't know if they're taking office visits, and I really don't want to do office visits. And so I guess hopefully they do video as well. But like around here, going to a psychiatrist is a big deal. There's like, I know when they were going to send me, there were like two, and I was like, we don't know when we'll get you in. Like apparently there's not many actual psychiatrists or psychologists or whatever they are. And that's like someone mentioned the shoot, the name escapes me now, but there's a secular something where you can, dang it, I can't believe I forgot that. Somebody in the comments will say what it is, because somebody in the comments told me before, like, hey, you should go check out whatever it is. And what it is, they'll have a list in there that'll show secular therapists. Like if you're needing help with mental health, you can go to someone that's not going to push religion on you. They're secular therapists. And I went to that website, and yeah, there was nothing in my area. It was empty. So yeah, I did try that. But my therapist is religious, but so far that has not been a problem. I saw, I think on her website or something, after the fact, after we had already started sessions, I saw something where she will offer, I guess, kind of faith-based counseling also, if you request it. So I guess the default is a more just secular, just regular approach. But I talk about everything. I talk about my atheism, talk about, all that. She even come out and said I had PTSD from the church and from, religion. So it hasn't been a problem. And the psychiatrist that I'm going to see, he seems great. I've talked to him one time, though, or twice. Once. And then did some testing and stuff. But he seemed pretty, like when I would talk about how kind of people are around here, he kind of gave me that knowing nod, like, yeah, people around here are different, for sure. But anyway, god dang, I got way off. I meant to do this as soon as we started, and I completely forgot. So before I go any further, one thing I've been really bad about not doing lately, and I need to get back into, is thanking my patrons. Thank you guys so much. You have no idea how much it means to me. We got Brandon Shaw, who's been there from, seems like, the beginning. We got the Lux, Kim and Lloyd, who have been there a really long time. Got Eric Moyer, long time patron, and brand new patron this week, Lorna McFarland. Yes, Lorna McFarland. Had them wrote down there. Make sure. So thank you, Lorna, for the pledge, and I appreciate you guys so much. Also, a big thanks to anybody watching this who's ever been a patron, even if it was just for a short time, or or the people who's made like one-time donations, things like that. And of course, a special shout out to my good friend Ryan, who helped me out and made a sizable donation. I appreciate you, Ryan, and him and I have had a couple good conversations, and I feel like I come away with a new friend. Just and some of you also, been several of you who've hit me up on the email, and I don't really plug that as much as I used to, but if you want to send an email, you can at joe.therebelsadvocate@gmail.com. It's joe.therebelsadvocate@gmail. Just know that sometimes I am slow answering, but it's really cool to hear different stories. A lot of people have shared with me the similarities that we have, and then the differences, and their kind of escape from religion, or just shared with me thoughts they had, or different things. And that's for all of you, thanks so much for the engagement. The people in the comments, I appreciate it. Things like that really mean a lot. But I gotta get with it, or it is going to get dark on me, because it's already 8:38. So real quick, let's go through the comments. Of last week's video. Okay, here we go. And again, if you'd like your comments read next week, make sure to comment on this video. We'll read all the comments from this video on next week's episode 6 of Well. Oh man, I can't wait till we get to episode 666. That is going to be, how many years is that going to take? That's many years in the future. I doubt I'm going to live that long. But GE commented, the intro had me in tears. Thank you, GE. The Lux Kilmer Lloyd won. I don't know. Commented, I agree with GE. Awesome intro. Another great vid. Love seeing Little Miss happy playing behind you. Yes. I love it too. She loves her little tiny pool. She'll say, get the water ready, get the water ready. And of course, I usually come out early, like right after we get up, and fill it, give it fresh water every day. Cause it's less than a bathtub worth of water. And that way it'll be nice and warm by 4 o'clock when the shade covers the front of the porch there. And she can swim in some nice warm water. She did one day. Actually, it was one of the videos we did, and where she's swimming behind me, and as soon as I turn the video off, I hear my wife starts getting up, and she's like, "Oh my God!" And she had pooped in the pool. It kind of come out her little swim diaper, not actually, just, let's just say it kind of shaded the water. So my wife picks her up and takes her in the house, puts her straight in the bathtub. So she goes from one pool of water to another, gives her a bath. So I'm out there spraying, emptying the water, spraying her little pool out, cleaning it up, spraying the porch off just in case, and so I was like, well, I'll just go ahead and fill the pool up tonight, and that way it'll be ready tomorrow. I won't have to worry about it. So I went ahead and filled it up. And nothing to do, my daughter, after she got out of the bathtub, she wanted back in the pool. And I was like, I don't think you're going to much care for it. It's very cold, and nothing to her. She wanted to get in, and by this time it's it's late evening, and the water was ice cold. But I was like, okay, you want in, go for it. And she got in, and it took her breath away. But let me tell you, she will sit there, teeth chattering. I don't know if she would ever ask to get out. I'm not sure. She loves the water, which actually I guess she has here lately, because now it's like when she gets bored, she's like, okay, go inside now. But this kid loves the water. She got in, and her little teeth was chattering. Finally, I had to get her out. I was like, it's too cold, and so I sit her beside the pool, and she just leaned over and splashed in the pool, and she was okay with that. But it was funny, yeah. So where were we? Bill Garthright. Garthright. I don't know. I'm probably saying your name wrong, but Bill, he said you need to have your wife laughing and commenting in all of these. I agree, Bill. That would be good. I think my wife actually enjoyed it a little bit, but I'll never get her in all of them. But when we can, that it will be. I did ask her, how she felt about it. I don't know that she's super pumped about it, but I think when I read her these comments, by the way, and she said that she really, to tell you guys, she appreciated the nice comments. But yeah, hopefully she can be around some more. John Bernhardt made sure and left me several comments on this one. He said, reading Revelation, sorry, I have a tendency of putting an S on Revelations, and that is incorrect. It's Revelation, which he spelled it right, Revelation. Reading Revelation makes me think that whoever wrote it was on LSD, but there was no LSD back then. Maybe the conspiracy dorks can link this to be proof of God. I don't know what drugs were and weren't available, but I can guarantee you, they, happened upon some shrooms or something. There was stuff available to help you see God, if you know what I mean. So, yeah. Moses and the burning bush and all that. And then Revelation, which is... Revelation cracks me. I love hearing people prophesy from Revelation. It's amazing because you can basically, with the logic they use, you can basically prophesy anything. I guarantee you I could go through Revelation and just show that it predicted absolutely every single thing that has happened in 2020. And then I could do it again in 2021 and 2022, or I could back up and do it in 1979. It's just, if you're willing to stretch your imagination that far. Then John also said, loving seeing you having fun with the family. Thanks so much, John. And yes, I am having fun with the family. And then he said, I guess I was talking about me being ugly. And he said, I am BF ugly. Sorry, God. Don't say that, John. I think you're a handsome fella. I've never seen you, but I'm just guessing. And then John said, in the Garden of Eden, I think this was in response to where I talked about the devil being beautiful and how Lucifer really, in the Bible, Lucifer, Satan, the devil, whatever you want to. Is that a face behind me, right back there? Y'all see that face in the block? Or is that just on my screen? Holy shit, this is haunted as hell. I just looked up and I was like, there's somebody watching me. You see that? Like, there's the nose, there's the eyes, there's a mouth. You even got a wrinkle across his forehead. Holy hell. Okay. Well, that's creepy as fuck. How am I supposed to not look at that the rest of the time? Anyway, John says, in the Garden of Eden, the devil told the truth while God was not telling the whole truth about the tree of knowledge. It's true. God literally started off our existence by lying to us. Unless you think the snake was just a talking snake and not the devil, of course. You know, I have heard this. People talk about, well, he just says it was a serpent. That doesn't necessarily mean it was Satan himself, you know, Lucifer. Well, then that just makes the story even weirder. Like, so God just created a evil serpent? Or, I mean, I don't know. Four-legged, by the way. Or two-legged? What? It had legs. The whole truth about the tree of knowledge, unless they're just talking snake and not the devil, which makes another interesting fable. Yeah. That snake did not speak with forked tongue. There, I commented you up good. Thank you, John. I'm getting old because I'm like holding the thing up there to try to read. But yeah, the creation story is hilarious, right? I've talked about it before, but just reading John's comment there, it's just like that right there. Either the serpent was the devil, or it was just another walking, talking serpent. So weird. Like the story. The story. Imagine, like, your entire worldview hinges on that story being true. God, that's rough. And of course, there's some people that give up on it completely, and they're like, well, it's a book of metaphors, and, you know, those kind of Christians, they don't give up on trying to make sense of it. But, yeah, our existence basically started off, like, if you believe this, our existence started off with God not being, you know, maybe not lying to us, but not being honest. He put a damn tree there we couldn't eat from. Why? Like, why? Why was that tree there? And then of course I've talked about, I'm not going to go into this, but basically Adam and Eve sinned by eating the fruit, yet that tree was the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So before they ate of that, they had no knowledge of good and evil. So how can they sin if they didn't even know what good and evil was? They didn't, you know. Anyway, like, if you have no knowledge of good and evil, then you wouldn't even know that it's evil to do the thing that God told you not to do. Oh my God, this story makes no sense. Anywho, I was walking through my kitchen the other night, and I thought I heard a sound outside. It was real late at night, and it's like, what the hell was that? Somebody's outside. My wife was done in bed. Well, shit, we got an intruder. So I come to the back door, and like an idiot, I didn't have the back porch light on, so it's just solid, it's just blackness out the back door. And so I do that nervous thing where you gotta flick on the outside light real quick and look, just in case somebody's out there, and then you flick on the light and they run, you can catch them before they run. And that is always, you got to be really careful when you do that, because sometimes I forget which side. There's two switches there, and I forget which one's the utility light and which one, you know, the utility room light, the inside light, and which one's the outside light. And sometimes I'm like, put my face right up to it and clink, and I hit the inside light, which just lights my face up for the boogeyman to see, and that's really scary. And then you're like fumbling to cut it back off, and just a whole thing. But anyway, I got the right one this time, and I didn't see anything, so I kind of poked my head out the door, you know, and look around. Well, that got me thinking, what if, you know, because I always, you know, you ever, like, whenever I have these thoughts, it can't just be a thought that comes and goes. I have to dwell on it for a year. And so after that, you know, it wasn't nothing outside, it was probably just an animal. And so then I was like, what if I flipped the light on and I saw somebody? What do you do? And I think this is the difference between old me, new me, you know, is, you ever hear the saying, you don't know what you do until you're in that situation? I think that's because sometimes we don't think stuff through realistically. Like, the old me would be like, well, I tell you what, if I see somebody outside, they're going to be talking to the business end of my 20 gauge shotgun, you know, whatever. Because that's the easy thing to say. If somebody's on my property, by God, and And some people will do that. I literally have friends who have done that. They have had people break in, whether and sometimes actually the people I know that's done it, it wasn't even their house. It was like their building, or and then well, I won't go into it, but I know it was his business, and they weren't even inside, and they still got shot at. So yeah, some people don't care. Like they're going to just that's the answer. And so I was like, okay, I want to think about this realistically, just in case the situation ever pops up. I would like to already weigh out the pros and cons and then what to do. Because I have a stash of guns. I got plenty of guns for defending myself. So what do? You see somebody outside, do you engage with them? Here's the thing. Number one priority for me is protecting my family. So from here forward, I have to think about how do I do that the best, what is the best way to do that. Coming outside, engaging with somebody out here, I don't think that's my best option. For one, let's say somebody just robbing my shit, if they're just outside, they're probably, most likely, most robbers, especially around here, are just going to steal some shit you got laying around outside, and then they're going to hightail it out, especially at night, because they know you're inside and they ain't going to risk that. I ain't saying always true, but there's a good possibility. If you're home and they know you're home, very good chance they're not going to come in, especially around here, because every goddamn body here has a gun, at least one. Most people have about 30 to 150. So somebody's out here stealing my shit. I come outside, I pull a gun on him. Best case scenario, I pull a gun on him, hold him up till I can call the law, they can come and take him in, right? But what if I spook him? What if he has a gun? He goes for his gun. Now two things can happen. I can shoot him and kill him or wound him really bad, and now I've got a lot of things to deal with. I'm gonna have a lot of trauma because I just killed somebody, and I don't care if they are breaking in on me. That ain't gonna sit well with me in my head. It's probably gonna fuck me up. I'm gonna end up in court probably, trying to prove that it was a lawful, it was self-defense. That might be hard to do considering he's outside. They might want to know, why did I come outside with a gun, even though it is, I don't know how that's going to go. A jury around here, if it went before a jury, I don't know, I'm thinking TV crime, I don't even know how that would work. But anyway, if it went before a jury around here, people would probably be like innocent, but you don't know. I could end up going to prison. But what if I miss? And what if he doesn't? Now I'm dead. Why? Like, you can't see around here, but I can just tell you right now, there ain't nothing, there's nothing out here worth my life, I'll tell you that. And is there anything out here worth that person's life? Yeah, they're low-life scum, they're robbing me, but what if it's a 20-year-old meth head who isn't in his right mind because he's went down the wrong road, he's on drugs, he's stealing shit to, keep up a habit. 20 years from now, he might be a great guy, he might be a dad, he might be a good husband, he might, 20 years from now, that guy might get his life in order. When I was 20 years old, I was pretty fucked up. I wasn't that fucked up to go robbing people's shit, but, let's say I was on a road leading there quick, if that makes sense. And it can happen to good people. So let's say, yeah, sure, he's robbing me, but, that's somebody's son, it's somebody's, whatever. But also, let's go back to the beginning reason. What is my main objective? My main objective is keeping my wife and kids safe. That's the most important thing. That's the thing I have to focus on most. So, don't come outside. That is going to increase your chances of getting killed yourself. And then who's going to protect your wife and kid? So, first of all, I want to hope that my wife can use her gun and protect herself. But if not, I want to be in there. Let's just say that. I want to be with my wife. I don't want it to come down to that. So what's the best option? And then here's the bad thing, and this kind of speaks to the state that we're in, but I have to be realistic. My next thought was, well, it seems like the logical thing is to post up, get your gun, post up, get your family together, post up, and make sure they don't come in the house. They can take whatever they want out here. We'll deal with that shit later. We've already decided it's not worth my life or theirs. So, and you can agree or disagree with that. This is me talking to myself. And post up and protect my house. Protect, nobody comes through. And you come through the door, like, I'm sorry, your life just is no longer, I mean, I'm sorry if you would have become a great person 20 years from now, but once you step through my door, it's kind of, negotiations are off at that point. I could probably try to hold you up till the cops got here, but see, if I do that, I have to let you know that I got the drop on you, and that gives you a slim chance of getting the drop on me and harming my family. So, like, you're not going to get a warning. Like, just simple as that. Like, once you walk through the door, you know, all bets off. But anyway, back up. I'm inside. I'm posted up. He's not coming in. He's just robbing me blind out here. And I was like, do I call the, you know, the obvious thing to do is call the cops, right? Well, then I got this whole other mess to think about. Okay, let's say the cops come running up here, you know, sirens are blaring, and pull up, and the guy's like right in the middle of, you know, dragging something heavy out of my building or, you know, some shit. He panics, pulls a gun, the cops shoot him. Well, at that point, you know, how bad can I feel for the guy? I kind of, you know, I didn't shoot him. I kind of gave him every opportunity to leave. I didn't come outside and engage. He should have heard the cops coming, or, you know, they probably don't come blaring with sirens, but their lights flashing. But then I thought, well, okay. Next case scenario, what if a couple cops come rolling in? One of them, he's a young cop, ain't been on the force long. He's got a wife and kid at home that, you know, he's out working third shift. He gets out, pulls a gun on the guy, tells him to freeze. The guy pulls a gun and shoots the cop. Now I've got a dad and a husband that ain't gonna come home in the morning, and I'm gonna be like, like, it ain't my fault, but this is, but it kind of, you know, kind of is. I set that in motion, that chain of events in motion. So now I gotta deal with that the rest of my life. So I'm thinking, and this is just how my brain works, because, you know, I want to work through these things before it happens, so I kind of know, okay, how am I going to deal with this? So I still haven't decided on that. Like, do I call the cops, or do I wait until it's over and then, you know, make sure the intruder's gone, then call the cops, and we'll go from there? Honestly, I haven't made a decision on that, but this is the weirdest, this has got to be the weirdest well yet. So I apologize for that. But the reason being, the reason I told that whole story is just kind of insight of how my brain works and how I think, you know, it's just a part of thinking realistically, and of how the faces fade. Oh my God, it's getting, I thought it was fading, but it's getting scarier. But it's just how, you know, it's kind of how I view the world. Like, okay, yeah, it's real easy to say, yeah, what would you do if you caught somebody robbing you? Well, you know, you can say either or. You could be like, well, I'd shoot him dead. Yeah, that's what he gets. He made that decision when he come on my property. Or you could be the opposite and be like, well, no one's worth a life. You know, nothing's worth a life. I would, you know. But in reality, what would you do? You'd be scared as shit. Somebody breaking in on you, be scared as shit. So I like to think about all those things. So if it ever did happen, I'd be calm. Well, you know, as calm as I can be. It's really hard to be calm when you got that goddamn face looking over my goddamn shoulder. I hope that shows up on the video. 'Cause that's freaking me the fuck out. I was waiting. I was giving him a chance to say something. I thought if I was quiet for a little while, he would say something. I bet he says something after I turn the video off. I guarantee you he talks to me. Guarantee it. He's what? Holy shit! Holy! How have I not seen that before? That's probably like my great-great-great-grandpa. I bet he's pissed off. I bet they're tearing down one of his favorite general's monuments in South Carolina somewhere, and he is pissed off. God damn it. He was a fucking war hero, and I loved him. They're tearing down his monument. See, guys? You see why I quit drinking? I don't need to drink to act stupid. I can be stupid without alcohol. It's 9 o'clock. I have not had supper. Seriously, it's my goddamn wedding anniversary, even though me and the wife can't even sleep together because we're quarantining away from each other. And I told my wife, I was like, it's going to be a real short video. And it's been 46 minutes of me just, what have I even talked about? Fuck, what the fuck have what have I talked about for 46 minutes? I need to do a podcast. Be better than, I mean, who the fuck watches a YouTube video this long? I mean, I'd watch a YouTube video this long if it was entertaining. I wonder if anybody saw that face before I pointed it out. I wonder if somebody just started the video and was like, holy fuck, there's a face. I think it's because its eyes are pointed towards the back of my head. He's just like, it don't necessarily look mean, it just looks concerned. Like he's concerned, almost like he's waiting for me to shut this. I'm afraid to shut this video off because I'm afraid he might like do something. Like that could be ways, like he won't do it in front of you guys, because you know how like sometimes demons and monsters, they don't like being caught on video. I bet that's why he looks so weird. He's like froze because he was coming out of the wall to get me before he realized I was videoing. He's like, look at that son of a bitch sitting there in that swing talking to himself. I'm gonna come out and grab him and like suck him back into the underworld. And then he got like his face in the wall and he realized, fuck, he's got a video camera or a cell phone. He was just like, he just froze now. Look at him, fucking froze. He's sitting there thinking, you turn that son of a bitch up. Turn it off, motherfucker. I'm coming out of this wall to grab you. Look how dark it's getting. Fuck, I better get in. Guys, I'm kind of, I don't know. I'm getting a little worried. There's bats flying around and shit. You can't tell, like, I was doing some research. You can't tell which bats are actual just normal bats and which ones are vampires, you know, because they look identical. Like a vampire that changes into a bat looks identical to a normal bat unless you're looking at it up close. Now if I was looking at it up close, I could tell right off, like easy. But when they're flying around, it's not so easy to tell the difference. Like probably an expert in the field probably could tell. Okay, I gotta go. This is getting weird. That face is getting weird. Hopefully nothing happens when I turn this camera off. I love you guys. Thanks. Comment. Remember, comments. I'll read them next week. Like, comment, subscribe. We gotta get to 1,000 subscribers so we can actually do this for live. And that would help me so much because then I wouldn't have to wait 2 hours to try to upload a 49-minute video. But thank you guys. If you want to become a patron like Brandon, Deluxe, Eric Moyer, and Lorna, just go to patreon.com/TheRebelsAdvocate and you can do so right there. I'll put a link. I'll even put a link down here. Make it easy on you. Bye. I can barely see it. Goddamn, he's gonna jump out. Guarantee you, right when I hit this, it'd be funny if I had a screaming face come up right now, wouldn't it? I can't do that. Bye.